It's Coop clean out day, or at least partly. Okay, so we're gonna pull out the old stuff and put in the new stuff. So here we go. Okay, so I cleaned out the coop. So first of all, don't think I didn't take any breaks. I just cut out like the parts where I was just like standing around and moving the wheelbarrow. So anyway, so I used the deep litter method, theoretically. It was actually a lot, and partly because it's a little packed down, as you can see, but it looked thinner than I had expected. But anyway, so with the deep litter method, you just keep piling it on. The ducks, chickens, whatever you have in the coop end up stirring it up, and as time goes on, it kind of composts itself. And then once a year, once or twice a year, you clean it out, and then you put more in there and start over. So that's what I'm doing. I am cleaning it out. Now, throughout the deep litter method, you're going to want to stir it up periodically and add more. Some people, I try to do it once a week, especially in winter when things are really wet. I'm terrible at it. I'm not going to lie. So, that little groan there was Tempest. She's a cutie patootie. Anyway, so yeah, I'm pulling it out. I use in my bedding a mixture of straw and hay. Reason being that, especially in wintertime, straw is very insulating and helps keep it warm. However, sorry if you heard the buzz there, that was my phone. However, straw does not absorb. Sorry, I said I use straw and hay, didn't I? I don't. I use straw and pine, no hay. Hay can be difficult because the dust can be bad for the ducks. So straw and pine. I use pine shavings. The pine shavings I use because they absorb the water and they absorb the liquid a little bit better. So that's what's there. I probably use like 50-50. 50-50 straw and pine. You also can see that the ducks like to include some feathers in their bedding, which is awesome for them. Sometimes I pick them up. Okay, so it probably took me about an hour for this whole thing. To do this whole thing. It is a workout. And this coop is a little bit smaller than your standard horse stall. If you've been around horses at all, that's the size we're looking at. So the time it takes me to clean out the coop is about the time it would take me to muck out a stall if I needed to muck it out completely. What do I do with it when I take it out? Well, there's actually a couple, mostly it's composted, and so you can put it on plants. Now, some people, from what I've read, say that you shouldn't put it on the plants until it's had more time to compost, especially if you are, primarily if you're using it on plants that you eat, because there is, of course, bacteria and things like that in the bedding. I mean, it's animal waste, you know what I mean? You can continue to compost it in either a heat composter or I feel like I've read a little bit about a long composting method, but I don't know enough about that to say much about it besides the fact that I'm pretty sure one exists. And then that'll make it safer to put on vegetables, fruits, things like that. Some people just toss it on their plants and don't worry about it. I don't know. I guess I haven't done enough reading to really have an opinion, and I haven't done enough reading on it because we currently don't have edible plants. We had talked about building a compost bin this fall and putting it in the compost, but that was a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie. So instead, I just put it out in the wooded area and toss it on the ground, and we'll spread it out, and it'll act as compost for our wooded area through the rest of fall and winter, and then into the spring. And that's fine. If you're not using it on plants that you plan on eating, it's really not a big deal either way. So yeah, that's what we do with it. It makes it really easy to use and get rid of, and that's pretty awesome. So as you'll see in this video, I've just tossed some bricks out. So I had initially put those in there because muscovies are known as tree birds. In fact, I believe in South America they were known as like tree ducks or like the greater tree ducks or something along those lines. Because they nest in trees and they perch in trees. Not the way that chickens do. They just like sit in a tree. So I had put some of the bricks in there because I thought they might want to like sit on them, you know, be a little bit, oh, sorry, I bothered Tempest, she's snuggling me. I thought maybe they would want to sit on them like they would a small tree. They in fact did not want to sit on the bricks like you would a small tree, and instead they just got covered in manure and bedding. So they ended up being more useful for me because I used some of them that hadn't gotten buried to kneel on when I was taking eggs out of the boxes, the nesting boxes. So I ended up having to toss them out, which was annoying. And I probably will not put bricks back in there, except as something for me to kneel on so I don't have to kneel in the bedding. So this year we decided to pick up some straw bales from, there's a guy down the road that sells them from us. And so we opted to get those straw bales from him. We were buying chopped straw from just like the local, fleet supply. But it was significantly more expensive. Oh, there's my phone again. So we switched this time to the straw bales, which are much less expensive, and honestly, I like them a lot more. They fill a lot more of the space. It's a little bit dustier, I feel, but not significantly. And you'll see after I put the straw down, I left the door open to let it air out a little bit before the ducks went in for the evening. There I am, throwing bricks. It's probably the worst part of all this was having to like dig the bricks out from the poop. So yeah, so that's the coop cleaning. Again, we'll do it once or twice a year. Ideally, I would do it in spring as well, in preparation for babies. Luckily, I did do a really great job in making sure to keep the eggs cleaned out, and I did not find any accidentally rotten eggs because that would have been terrible to accidentally pierce a rotten egg and have that in there. It would have smelled terrible. The other thing that you'll notice in our coop is that we did not put plastic on the bottom of the coop walls. It is recommended that you do that because, for all of them, they're very, for all birds, they poop very far. And so it can get on the walls. And ducks in particular are very wet in general. Because they drink a lot of water, they breathe out a lot of water. And that's part of the reason why we have so much difficulty with humidity in the wintertime. So it's always recommended that you put some vinyl or some plastic up the sides of the walls, a couple feet up, to help keep them from the wood from getting too wet and rotting and having problems. I hope that we'll get to that this spring, and just checking the goodness of the wood in the coop and making what replacements we need to. So sorry for the weird angle here. The phone fell down. I put it back up and didn't realize that it wasn't quite in the right position this time. But But yeah, so there's the pine shavings. It's about 6 cubic feet. That is 3 cubic feet, but it's compressed, and so once you get it all out, it ends up being about 6 cubic feet. For this round, I used 1 bale of hay and a little less than 2 containers of the pine shavings, and that is sufficient for the start. Again, once winter hits, I would like to be adding another set of each once a week, once every other week, just to keep it dry in there, and then stirring it up at least once a week to help keep it fresh, keep them all warm. So yeah, that is coop clean out day. Like I said, it took about an hour total, which wasn't really too bad. And then, yeah, I fixed the phone. Yay! I'm not gonna lie, spraying, like, just shaking that hay or straw everywhere was a lot of fun. Sorry, I keep saying hay. I promise it is straw, not hay. And then they'll spread it out as much as they want to. They like to root around and move the stuff around to their preferences, make themselves little sleeping areas. So, yeah, there we go. Okay, here's our freshly cleaned out and bedded coop. Yay!